Let's bring in our panel now. Josh Kraushaar, Kevin Walling, and Terry Holt. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to the Hill. Take a listen to Kate Beddington. Of course, she's with the Biden campaign in regards to this issue of how progressive the administration might be.
I think that Vice President Biden campaigned on an incredibly progressive and aggressive agenda. He's going to make good on those commitments. It's a big, aggressive plan. It's the perfect example of the kind of big effort that he is going to make to meet this moment and to meet these crises that we're in.
Josh, are we making too much of this balancing act? Does Biden have a clear view of how he's going to manage all of this?
Well, he may, but the ultimate roadblock for Biden and frankly progressives in Congress is the number of Senate votes that are going to be there, whether it's 48 for Democrats or whether it's 50. There are not enough Democratic or certainly not enough progressive votes to pass the Green New Deal, to pack the courts, or even to blow up the legislative filibuster. So all of these progressive ideas that were tossed about on the campaign trail, there's just no way that Democrats can get any of that legislation passed, even if Chuck Schumer does have the narrowest of majorities come January.
Kevin, take us behind the scenes. What is it really like? Is there a lot of tension amongst Democrats, or is it all hunky-dory?
Yeah, so Dana, I'll note what Hakeem Jeffries, who's our conference leader in the House, said, that this is a family discussion that's going to happen. He welcomes that divide, that discussion that goes on. But of course, you saw the vice president in his speech talk about a mandate for action, whether it be on COVID-19 or rescuing small businesses in this country. Upwards of 5 million looks to be the margin thus far in the popular vote. So the wind is in the sails of the vice president as he takes the fight to Congress. But to Josh's point, too, we don't know if it's going to be that slim majority for Democrats, a 50-50 split Senate with the vice president-elect Kamala Harris delivering that tie-breaking vote, or whether Republicans hold that two-seat majority for the next 2 years.
Terry, how do you see things?
I see that this way, that the Democrats and the progressives have elected the most conservative Democratic nominee they could have. They went to the dance with him, and now they're rightly concerned that the interests of the American people are going to come before the interests of progressive left-wing activists. And as far as that goes, it's also troubling for them that the first couple of issues they're going to deal with, that is President-elect Biden and the Republicans, will be issues that don't lend themselves to a lot of crazy liberal thinking. We're going to be talking about primarily the COVID bill or stimulus. And while there's maybe some disagreements among that, those aren't the kind of flashpoints that progressives are looking to go after in this next 4 years.
So I'm going to give 30 seconds to each of you to just tell me your thoughts about how President-elect Biden and Senator Mitch McConnell will interact. Josh, let's start with you.
I'm more optimistic than most because, look, they have a good working relationship. He was the one Obama administration official that could actually make deals when we were at a very partisan time 8 years ago. And so I think that relationship is going to help. And I also think that the political incentives are aligned for working together, because with a narrow majority, no matter which party is in charge, you've got folks like Susan Collins, Joe Manchin, and Mitt Romney being the power players in the Senate, not the more liberal and conservative members. So and McConnell has a tough map in 2 years. So McConnell is not going to be in his political interest to block everything. It's not going to be in Biden's interest to go to a left-wing agenda.
I've wondered if you'll see the rise of the deal makers like a Tim Scott, Rob Portman, Susan Collins. But Terry, you're shaking your head at those thoughts from Josh. Tell us why.
Because fundamentally, Joe Biden and Mitch McConnell, whether they like each other or not, are at odds both institutionally, the Senate and the presidency, and politically, Republicans and Democrats. This is a divided country. There may be some more grease in the gears, and they might like each other a little bit better than in the past, but we still have divided government, and that's the watchword for them.
And one final quick word to you, Kevin.
Yeah, Dana, let's not forget, too, the power that the president-elect has in terms of executive action. Watch him protect his left flank on things like the Paris Accords, like DACA, other issues that he's in alignment with the progressive wing of the party. So see some action on that, certainly.
Kevin, really smart point. Thank you all. Well, not just both, all three of you.